Hello everyone, welcome back to Excel School. In today's lesson, we are going to learn about small and large formulas in Excel. These formulas are analogous to max and min formulas, which are used to find out the maximum value and minimum value in a range. And I'm sure you're familiar with these formulas, the max and min ones. But the small and large are similar, just the difference is that you can also tell Excel what is the position of the number that you're looking for. For example, maximum by default will return what is the maximum value in the list. But what if you wanted to find the second largest number in a list of bunch of numbers? Then you cannot use maximum. That's when you can use the large formula and give the range as well as a parameter telling Excel what is the position you're looking for, and Excel will tell you what is that value. For example, here what we have done is I have given some hypothetical employee data, name of employee, productivity of the employee, and how many jobs they have done. And we wanted to have a question, we want to answer the question like what is the third lowest number of jobs done. It is in this column we want to find out what is the third lowest number, and the answer will be small of this range D4 to D14. This is the range, and the value, the number we are looking for is third lowest number, so 3. The syntax of small, I am going to show it here. It is the same syntax for large. Array is nothing but your range of values, so you can select any range like this or this, and k is nothing but the position what you are looking for, so you can specify 5th position. Let us find out the 5th highest productivity is 39%. Okay, so that is how it works. I'm sure this formula and this example is very straightforward, so you don't need any explanation from me. You can use the similar way to work with large formula, which is shown here. Yeah, what are the top 3 productivity percentages? This is a slightly bigger formula, but nothing to worry. I think you're not able to see this. Let me just okay, now you can see. The question that you wanted to answer is what are the top 3 productivity percentages? And now the answer is, of course, to get the top productivity, top 1 and 2 and 3, you can just use large of this column C, 1, 2, 3 like this. But since these are not actually percentages, they are nothing but numbers. This is nothing but 0.75 and this is nothing but 0.78. So if I use this without this text formula, let me just remove this and I will show it to you what happens. Of course, that is not the formula, that is just an text. So here I'm going to so the top 3 productivity figures are, and then this is becoming 0.98. So in order to make it as a percentage, we need to format it manually. So for that reason, I am using this text formula. I'm just going to press Ctrl Z, so we revert back to the way it is earlier. So in this example, the problem is what are the top 3 productivity percentages, and the answer you want to see is something like this. Top 3 productivity figures are 98%, 78% and 75%. In order to get that result, you need to write a formula that goes something like this. The top 3 productivity figures are, that is a static text, so I'm putting that in the double quotes. Maybe it's easier if I look at the formula from here, then you can see all these beautiful colors. The top 3 productivity figures are, and then the large 1, large 2 and large 3. These portions are fairly clear to you, but what we are doing is we are using this formula called text, which will take a value and a format text. The format text can be 0%, which is Excel's way of your way of telling Excel that you want the value to be formatted in a percentage along with the percentage sign at the end. So you mention it like this, and Excel will convert that whatever output of large is to a percentage value. So when you press enter, this is how the output is going to be. You can see this example in the download file, so you can play around with this a bit more. What is curious about the small and large formulas is that they are very powerful and they actually give you results based on the position you are looking for. But sometimes the question is not so straightforward, isn't it? For example, most often you don't really want to find out the third lowest number of jobs done. You actually want to find out the person who has done third lowest number of jobs. So in this case, the third lowest number of jobs is 3, but you are actually interested in finding out who is the person behind this, and that is Karen, and you wanted to find out her. Who is the person name. So even though the list here is there, you want to actually fetch an item from here, and this is where we are going to use our skills from the VLOOKUP lesson, that is VLOOKUP, match and index formulas. I have a small example prepared for you here. This example, the question is, who did the third lowest number of jobs? And the formula is like this, and the result is Karen. Now let us go and explore this formula a bit. What this formula is doing is, of course you cannot see the colored cells here because I just copied the values, but it is actually referring to the range here. I hope you can just connect the dots. So we will go one by one. The first step is to find out what is the third lowest number of jobs, and that is found out with this part of the formula. Small, the jobs are in column D, D4 to D14, and third lowest is 3. So once that value is found, we need to find out what is the position of that value in this list. It so happens that luckily the third lowest number is also in third row, but it may not happen in your data, so you cannot assume anything. You have to actually ask the question, where is the third lowest number of jobs listed in this list? And how do you find out the answer for that? We use the formula match. Remember, the match formula will find out a value in a list and return the position of that item, the match in that list. Okay, so you can go back and take a refresher on the VLOOKUP lesson if you feel slightly lost, but I am sure you are not lost. So the match formula is used to find out a value and return its position. So here, once that value is found, the whatever is the third lowest value, we are asking Excel again to find out where that value is in the same list. So again, D4 to D14, 3 is going to give me the smallest value, third smallest value. And again I am asking Excel, take this value, pass it on to match, so that match will tell me where the value is. Remember to use the value matched mode as 0. 0 stands for exact match. Since our list is not sorted in any ascending or descending order, we have to use 0. Now once the match is found, we have found out the position of third lowest number in our list. The next step is, once we know where the third lowest number is in this list, we have to just return the corresponding value from this list, this particular column here. So for that reason I am using index. So if you read this formula now, what it is going to be is that, find out the third smallest value, tell me the position of that third smallest value using this match, and use that position to retrieve the corresponding value from this array using index formula. And the end result is Karen. Okay, so now we have found out how to get the third lowest number of person behind this third lowest number, or third smallest number. Of course, there will be some limitations to this technique. One of the main limitations is that if there are 2 or more values with the same number, here if you look at it, I have carefully crafted this list in such a way that everything, all values are unique. There is no repetition. 1, 2, 3, 4, these are all, there is no repetition here. But for some reason, if there is a repetition, for example, even Karen did 2 jobs instead of 3, then the third smallest number is becoming 2, because in the world of small and large, 1 is the smallest number, 2 is the second smallest, Again there is one more 2, that's the third smallest number. So it's not really 4 which is the third smallest number, but it is the 2 which is taken. If you look at this formula, and even if you change it to second smallest number, that is also coming as 2. So I hope you understand. This is one of the limitations where for both small and large, that they cannot give you the unique position. If there are values repeated, they just consider those values as separate values and then return the value. So this might be a problem, because in such cases finding the correct person behind the jobs is difficult, because now you see who did the third lowest number of jobs. Now Excel is telling me it is Smith, because this value is also 2. It's here actually referring to these values here. So Smith is the second, but it could be Karen as well for all you know, isn't it? Or strictly speaking, both Smith and Karen tie at second position, giving James as the third person with third lowest number of jobs. But that's not what Excel found. Excel just found out that it is Smith. That is because once the small is returning value as 2, match is just finding the first match, which is the first match of 2 is Smith, so the corresponding value of Smith is returned. Now this is one of the limitations. There is a way to work around this limitation, but I think that is beyond scope of our discussions here. And you can find out more about that particular way in our KPI dashboards post on Pointy Head Dilbert blog. I leave the link to that post in this lesson download file, so you can go there and learn more about it. But usually it is a pretty intricate method, and very rarely you will ever have a situation where you need to do that. So I don't really suggest you to explore it until and unless you come to a scenario where you have to solve this. Otherwise, these are pretty powerful formulas. I have been using these formulas for a while, and I really like to use the small and large formulas because they're very powerful, and they work to the point. Their syntax is very simple, they're easy to remember, and they go very well with the rest of the stuff around there. So I hope you have also learned and you will use these formulas in your work, and let me know your experiences and in your concerns through comments on this lesson using the comments feature. I'll see you in the next lesson, which is going to be on Excel formatting, unless we have any refresher or some feedback on the formulas. We are going to move to the next week. I hope you have enjoyed this week's lessons on Excel formulas, and I will see you next week. Until then, you have a good time. Bye bye.